Podcasting with Jamesy, the Manistee Local. Alrighty.
Alrighty
then.
Oh my God, bro.
Do not disturb this mug.
I thought you had it on Do Not Disturb.
Does it say on Do Not Disturb?
It said something like notifications are turned low or something.
Oh, it's like the fucking iPhones, dude.
See, like
my wife tells me all this. She's like, "Turn off your Do Not Disturb." It's not on.
Yeah, so I'll show you afterwards.
I
thought it was like it was like an influencer thing. Like, hey, bitches, like you're gonna text me and I'm not gonna get back to you right away because I have some other friends that are busy people like yourself.
Yeah.
And it says, notifications have been turned off or turned to silent on this phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I get the notifications. Like, it just tells people that it's
like ease up on getting a hold of me because I'm not going to get right back to you.
I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. I think I have to download an update, is what my wife told me. She's my technical advisor.
Is she? Yeah,
she does all the high-tech things in our household. I'm not good.
I'll show you what I'm talking about when we're done here.
Yeah.
Grab one of my phones over there.
Right? And guys got.
Do you miss your beard?
Phones? Actually, I don't. Which I'm surprised about.
Yeah, because it was like a huge part of you.
It was like, I mean, it was weird in the beginning because you reach for it, it's not there. You're used to your head looking like it's actually like that long, and then you cut it off, and it's like, oh my God, I have like a retardedly short face. And now my sunglasses look really big.
They do look huge on you.
You know?
Yeah.
Which was the opposite of before, because I used to wear like, kind of short Loke style sunglasses, and then when the beard got too big, the sunglasses looked too small. So,
that face fit.
Yeah, got to balance everything back out again.
Yeah, it's not quite October yet. I'm not growing my beard till, well, maybe after August.
Yeah,
start in September maybe. We'll see. But it's so fucking gray now, dude.
It's a little salt and pepper there.
There's a lot of salt, not so much pepper.
A lot of salt, less pepper.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I was surprised at how much I had, because like the end of the beard didn't look very white, but then when I shaved it down and it started growing stubble, I'm like, oh my gosh, well, that stubble's coming in white. What
you been up to, dude?
Man, working, taking care of my family.
Yeah, you've been dad and husbanding quite a bit lately, which is pretty rad. Good for you. Trying
to strike a balance with.
This episode is brought to you by Chapo's Northside Bar, voted best burger and wings in town. Yeah, you heard that right. If you're going to go out for a burger or wings or both, you might as well go to the place that's voted the best. The best. Why wouldn't you have anything less? Look, and if you're not down for a burger or wings, that's cool. They've got salads, wraps, and sandwiches also. And this summer, it's going to get wild because on June 24th, it kicks off their summer concert series in the parking lot. Live music, folks. And guess what? It's free. Yeah. Come down for the music, stay for the fun, enjoy the best burger and wings in town. Chapo's Northside Bar. This episode is brought to you by Brandon Ball, broker-owner of Dwelling Realty in Manistee, Michigan. Listen, are you looking to sell your home? Then look no further. When you list with Brandon Ball, you'll get a trusted advisor who will guide you through the entire selling process. With extensive knowledge of the local market, he'll help you price your home competitively to attract the right buyers. And with proven market strategies, your home will be seen by the most qualified buyers. With his 17 years in the business, you'll have someone who's experienced and on your side. Contact Brandon today to get started selling your home. 231-690-4981 or Brandon@dwellingrealty.com. This episode is brought to you by Just Clean, Manistee's premier car wash located at 146 Cleveland Street or just north of the US 31 bridge. Look, if you're anything like me, you're not going to spend an hour or two in the hot summer sun in your driveway trying to wash your vehicle. I don't have time for that. So I always take my truck to Just Clean. I choose their ultimate car wash, which includes a triple foam conditioner, a ceramic coating plus wax, and a 60-second heated blow dry. They are the only car wash in town offering the ceramic coating. For my money, I choose Just Clean, and I hope you do too.
My wife, and make sure that I'm contributing and that she's getting her needs addressed when it comes to like not just taking care of a baby and a family all the time. So, you know, trying to keep the balance.
Yeah, I hear you, but you're jet setting like a motherfucker still. It seems like.
I did go to LA for a podcast last weekend for like 16 hours. It's interesting. It's like, I think about the guys that I know who, like, if they have to go on a business trip, like, they're going to tack a day on one, either end or both.
Yeah.
So they can chill, like, and get away from their families. And I want to get back to my family. So I feel very fortunate for that, right? Because it's like, I don't think that that's always the case. But yeah, I miss my son and I miss my wife. I mean, my wife and I have been together like pretty much all the time for like 8-9 years now.
Well, that's rad, dude.
Yeah, so it's good, She's my best friend, man.
Yeah, I mean, same here, dude. Your wife's not my best friend. My wife is my best friend.
Yeah, I get that.
Because all we do is hang out with each other.
Right.
Because we people all day.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we lived off-grid in the woods together. We've lived like a pretty rural, remote lifestyle away from our family and friends for the last like 6 years. So it's been us,
So what's new? Anything? How's that masterclass shit? Can we talk about that or no?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's going good, dude. It's like the ones that I'm a part of or the one that I started?
Well, I want to talk about the one you started, but let's talk about the ones you're a part of now, because when I follow what you got going on online, I mean, first of all, you're definitely educating and educating others and educating yourself in your industry, which is you're just completely all over LinkedIn for sure. I mean, I think that's been a big networking path for you. I've been following you a lot there, trying not to talk shit on your posts. But I could see it. It's working very well for you.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in that.
LinkedIn has been amazing for me. Instagram is like talking to such a wide pool of people that there's like a pretty small percentage of those millions of people who are interested in what I have to say and like involved in the same business that I am. But like LinkedIn, it's all business people. And so if I go on there and talk about the cannabis business, I'm speaking directly to my audience. And so it's been much more effective platform for me. Although Instagram has been good, it's starting to pick up. I think I'm figuring Instagram out a little bit too. But like, I get on calls with other people in the cannabis industry like every week with no intent other than like, hey dude, I like what you have to say and I would like to know you, and I'm talking to people who I have admired from afar, like, damn, that guy's got a big company, I like their brand a lot, and now I'm talking to these guys and asking them like, how'd you do this? How'd you build this brand? Like, what do you think is differentiating you from other people? What are you doing different than other brands that's making you successful? And so I'm acquiring a lot of information from people who are winning, and then I'm also building relationships with really solid people. So that's been my favorite thing about LinkedIn. And I think social media in general is just like, when social media came around, I was like one of the first people on Facebook, right? Back when it was a .edu, in like 2003, I think. And it was like a place to like tell your friends about partying, you know what I mean? And I never changed the way I thought about it to like a marketing tool or a professional tool to build an audience, to talk to people in your sphere and create a sphere of influence. And that's one of the things I kick myself about, because there are people who immediately saw this like, wow, this is the best marketing tool that's ever been created in the history of the world.
Yeah, but you were talking about like less than like 0.5% of people, and maybe even less than that back then took it that way.
Yeah.
Because everybody, when I wasn't a part of it when it was an education platform, a college website basically. But when they expanded it and I got on it, it was literally, sharing with friends and family.
Right.
Boring.
Yeah.
And it's wild how it's changed, because it clearly is now. Like, you want to be seen on all these platforms.
Yeah. I mean, and, if you look at somebody like Gary Vee back in 2009, I mean, the guy started marketing wine on YouTube. Like, after the platform was like 6 months old or something. Like, imagine, I just don't have that kind of foresight,
I don't know. I think you do. You're using, for your industry being such a young industry. I mean, you're pushing that envelope online. I think more so than maybe because we're so close that I see your stuff more. But I'm definitely not seeing a bunch of. You might also like this in my feed. So
that's one of the things, and I've had a couple people say that like there's no like cannabis business influencers. And I, that wasn't like my intent I'm going to be a cannabis business influencer. But I guess if you're talking about what I'm doing, I guess that's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah, it starts off as marketing, and then, you develop a brand that people want to showcase to help sell their brand.
Yeah, and, it's really good for the company, right? Because cannabis businesses are difficult to market, right? We get shut down on Instagram and Facebook all the time. Our accounts get deleted. We can't post pictures of our products.
Hassle that is.
Yeah, it's Jesus so difficult.
Christ, I went through that briefly, and that was like a nightmare.
I mean, man, most businesses today, like they make a product and they market it on social media. Yeah. And it's like that's like the main marketing platform for most businesses, and we can't do it. And so for me to like stand up, for the first couple years the business was open, I was asking other people in the company like, hey, are you willing to be the face of the company? And so finally I just did it, right? And so now the company has a face, and I can market in ways the company can't market. Right. And it's brought about brand deals, like companies from California that want to come to Michigan are seeing me on the internet and being like, well, hey, this guy, I like his values. I like his point of view on things. He'd probably be a good brand partner for the state of Michigan. So, it's been good from that perspective for sure.
What can't you show with respect to cannabis online? And the only reason why I say that is because sometimes I see dispensaries posting videos of like literally smoking marijuana. I mean, taking a gummy.
Right. It really comes down to what you can get away with. Like, Instagram is not, I don't think they have filters set up for like visual pictures of joints and gummies and plants, but there's a lot of hating that goes on in the cannabis industry. So like your neighbors will start reporting all your shit, and just inhibit your growth on social media. So it's really got more to do with like the competition hating on you than it does Instagram hating on you.
Yeah, no, it's so dumb.
I know, and that's one of the things I talk about on LinkedIn all the time. It's like, we're all struggling in this thing together. Like, let's not make this more difficult than it has to be. We're better off as allies than we are as mortal enemies.
Competition is good.
Yeah,
as scary as it can be. I mean, it would be terrifying for me if like a huge like brand liquor store, Total Wine or some
Bevmo
shit,
started
whatever,
set up across the street.
Yeah, but we'd have to learn how to evolve.
Right.
Instead of just ducking our tail between our legs and running, we have to figure it out. But I think it makes everybody better.
Yeah. Well, and the thing for me is like, how can you hate somebody that you don't know?
Yeah.
That you've never met? And like, it becomes a thing, right? Where the employees hate each other and the owners hate each other, and nobody's ever even like gone and shake the other one's hand. Because it's like, if you go and shake somebody's hand, chances are they're probably pretty similar to you if they're in this industry. And it's really hard to hate somebody after you look them in the eye and see like, this is just a dude like me who's trying to feed his family, and like, why am I going to do something that's that detrimental to their business over what, and so I'm trying to like foster more of that within the industry.
Yeah, you've gone around to other companies and tried to kind of bridge that gap, help like cross promote, cross sell.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to be doing more of it. I don't have a ton of time to be like running all over the state, but it's definitely something that I like to do, and something that I want to continue to do more of.
The other day I was listening to you. You had I don't know if it was a story or if it was a reel, where you were talking about federal legalization.
Yep.
And how that could affect the industry negatively.
Yep.
In the front end of it. Could you educate me a little bit more on that? It sounded super interesting.
Yeah. So obviously the feds have taken like a hands-off stance at this point. It's still federally illegal, but they've allowed the states to do whatever they want. So the states are now deciding amongst themselves whether they're going to allow or disallow recreational or medicinal marijuana. And while each state starts setting up its own framework, at some point the federal government will set up a framework, right? Like they have to.
Yeah.
They're taxing us unfairly. They're not allowing interstate commerce. At some point this will be federally legal. Just depends on the politicians and who's trying to get elected, you know what I mean? And once that happens, you're going to have 50 different sets of regulation. And so what does the federal government do? Do they wipe out that regulation and set new federal standards? We're going to allow interstate, I almost said trafficking. We're going to allow interstate commerce. We're going to allow cannabis to be sold at liquor stores.
Yeah.
We're going to allow cannabis to be sold at grocery stores.
Yeah.
And so then like, if they decide to allow that, what happens to these specialty cannabis stores that people have spent years and millions of dollars building and setting these businesses up? Like, do they go away?
A lot of them do.
A lot of them probably do, if that's the case, right? Because people are just they stop at 7-Eleven every day to buy their cigarettes. They're just going to buy a pack of joints, And there will be people who still want to shop at the specialty stores, right? Yeah. But it's going to be like I think about the 80-20 rule. Like, I think long term, 80% of this market is dominated by massive companies, and they produce okay product, but it's inexpensive, and like most people are good with that, right? They're like Busch Light, Bud Light, Coors Light, not Bud Light anymore, drinkers, and like they're okay with that like mass-produced product. And then there's 20% of the population that wants like the craft product, right? They drink the IPA, they want the microbrews, and they're going to want to go and support like a smaller operation and buy something that somebody has really touched with their hands and worked hard on. And so that's kind of how I see things shaking out. There's going to be like massive concentration of like bigger companies buying up smaller companies and creating like massive conglomerates of national weed companies at some point. Big tobacco will get involved. Big alcohol will get involved. Pharma will get involved.
I mean, alcohol's kind of already involved a little bit. There's a lot of products out there that have cannabis in it now.
Yeah,
but
a lot of the beer companies are getting involved already, like not directly through that entity that they own, but they're figuring out how to get themselves in. Like the founders of Sam Adams just partnered up with a guy I know from California who makes a lemonade drink called Uncle Arnie's. I think that he's going to blow up now that he has like that information, that experience from these Sam Adams guys. Jones Soda just got involved.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's, and it's like when people who really know how to do beverages, for instance, get involved, it puts a lot of pressure on smaller operators who are figuring the shit out, right?
Yeah, you guys are doing all the work though.
Yeah.
I compare that to like when a new product comes out on the beverage alcohol side.
Right.
In the little boutique stores or little liquor stores, corner stores that take it on, that promote it, that push it, that help build the brand, and then gets the brand to a certain point, and then they're like, oh, we're going to take this and we're going to stick it in Sam's Club, Costco, Walmart, Meijer, whatever, you name it.
Yeah.
And then drop the price way down, take it away from us.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like a good metaphor for the cannabis industry in general, right? Like, there are people like myself and a lot of people before me who laid the groundwork for this, right? And created a a big industry that was underground, and a lot of those people who were, especially the early adopters, aren't having a seat at the table anymore because they aren't sophisticated operators. They didn't have the money to get in. So I think that's unfortunately just the way of the world, right?
What are your lobbyists doing though? That's something that I would be like who's in control of going to, you all right?
Yeah.
Of going to, Congress or wherever and being like, hey, listen, we can't, like, I don't want to say can't, but let's not F the little guy.
Yeah.
And all this work that's been put in to blaze this trail.
I mean, within each state, there are like lobbying groups. I don't see them doing much.
Yeah.
Like there's a group I could be a part of for like, $500 a month. But like, I look at, what happened over the last, 2 years, and I'm like, what the fuck were you guys doing the whole time? Like, people were paying you to lobby and the industry went to shit. Like, good fucking job, nice work. And when you look at the regulations in each state, there were never any cannabis operators involved in drafting those regulations. It was like lawyers and like lawyers for cannabis associations like normal. And it's like, you people don't know anything about the industry. And so then we get stuck with rules that are like, who the fuck wrote this? This doesn't even apply to us. It doesn't make sense. And so one of the things that I would like to do, with building this Elite Cannabis Operator Mastermind group is long term, I would like to see it be, have a voice at the federal level. Like when the conversation does come up at the feds, that we have a group of, hundreds of operators, hopefully by this point, who can come together and say, like, these are the things that are important to us. And if we have hundreds of operators together, we can raise some money to hire a lobbyist to go and represent us, at Capitol Hill.
Talk about that mentoring program you're putting together or have put together.
Yeah, so, we just launched it a couple weeks ago. It's been really well received. Basically, what I'm trying to do is create, for lack of better words, like a networking group, specifically for cannabis operators, for people who are in the space where, there are a lot of things that affect us and only us. Banking, taxes, saturation, like all these things that really aren't affecting other industries, and to be able to just go into a group with other people who are doing the same thing as you, who are pushing the envelope, trying to build big businesses, and to not have to explain to them the nuances is powerful, right? And to be able to get to know people and create relationships and maybe do deals together, if I'm trying to get it to be a national group, right? And we've got good a good spread already of people from Massachusetts and Florida and California and Nevada and Oregon. And so at that point, like right now, if I wanted to say expand our business and take Caddy to New Jersey or New York, I don't really know anybody there. And so I would have to go ask my attorney, hey, do you know any operators in New York, New Jersey? And, maybe they'd introduce me to somebody, and I would create a business relationship with somebody I don't really know. And that's generally not a great move, right? It's kind of a recipe for disaster. You're signing up, you're doing a licensing deal with somebody that you really don't know. And so now if we have this big group of people, you can see like, hey, there's 10 guys in my group from New York, and I'm going to talk to all of them. Like maybe some of them I already have a good relationship with. And I have now an avenue to get into those states with somebody I actually trust.
So it's kind of like, you've got a little bit of something for everybody in your mastermind. You got marketing, you've got legal, you've got and for like higher level operators, guys with bigger businesses, there are other guys in there with big businesses because those are the guys that want to talk to each other. But one of the things that I've had to tell these guys, they all want to know who else is in the group. They want to see like, are people I want to talk to in this group, and they're also saying like, without saying it, like I want to make sure this isn't a group full of like new guys. Yeah. And I want the same, right? But I also want to tell these guys like, hey, we need to be supporting the new guys, because we have information that could change the course of their life and career, right? And so for me, like if I had been able to talk to an operator who had been in the game for 3 years already when I started my company, I would have done things differently, and I would have made a lot less mistakes, because mentorship is like a cheat code, right? It's like seeing the future
being able to navigate it a little bit better. So that's another big component of what we're trying to do is get the information from operators in more mature markets to operators in newer markets.
Yeah, I'm going to put, if it's all right with you, I'll put all that stuff in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's links and shit for that because I think that's pretty
Appreciate
good.
it.
Yeah. I appreciate you. And where the fuck has your podcast been?
I've been slacking on it. I recorded an episode a couple weeks ago, finally, after a long time. And
yeah.
I just got to figure out how to work it into my schedule. Work's just been hella busy.
Well, you're going to other podcasts.
I know. Well, I've been focused actually more on that than doing it myself. And I figured if my intent right now is to create more reach for myself, that getting on other people's podcasts is a priority.
I get it. I understand that.
Yeah.
But like, the one that you just recorded, is that for High Commerce or is that for Willie McKenzie?
Willie McKenzie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think
that was moving pretty good there for a while, man.
Yeah, it was starting to pick up. I gotta get after it again. You know, I gotta make time for it.
Yeah, well, you make time for everything else.
I know.
I mean, you already start your morning at 3:52 every fucking day.
At a certain point, you start running out of time, though. You know.
Yeah. What time do you go to bed?
Too late. Like 11 o'clock last night. You know. I've been wearing this Whoop thing lately, and
oh, sweet. Tell me how that's working.
It's I mean, it's cool, but it's a little bit too forthcoming. It's like, hey man, you got 4 hours of sleep the last 6 nights in a row. Like, that's not good. So like this morning, I didn't go to the gym. I went back to bed because I saw it this morning. I was like, fuck, that's not good. 4 hours and 22. I'm like averaging 4 hours and 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's not
all
good.
week. So
it's been rough too. I was supposed to get up and run this morning, and now I have to run this afternoon because I did the same thing. I just rolled over. I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm not running with you this morning. You go do your thing.
I actually got up and was up for an hour and was ready to go to the gym. And then I looked at the thing and decided that I'm not going to push myself right now. I'm going
to. Athletes that wear that thing and they listen to it,
yeah.
I mean, it changes their whole, changes everything up the right way.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone and worked out this morning. I'm totally capable of pushing myself on not a lot of sleep. But I can tell when I'm not getting enough sleep, my anxiety's higher. I get heart palpitations, so I just need to be sleeping more.
How's your anxiety been?
Relatively good. As long as I'm staying on my routine, it's pretty good. I don't really like flying and traveling, so there's always some around that. I sit there and sweat for half the flight, but I'm getting by.
That's wild, dude. I mean, taking off and going on these podcasts and how is it affecting the business Authentic?
I don't, because they have more of a, I don't want to call it a national reach, right? Because I haven't been on any huge podcasts. We're not seeing a big bump in business from those. But I am getting people from LinkedIn starting to come in, either coming to Manistee to visit, just to check out the business that we're talking about.
There you go.
Or they're coming for vacation anyways, and popping in. So that's been pretty cool.
How you feeling with the diet?
I feel pretty good most of the time. I haven't been great this week. I'm a little bit frustrated with myself. But
where are you trying to get with that too?
I want to get under 200 pounds. I'm trying to get to 190. So that's another 15 pounds.
Man, you're looking strong though, dude.
I mean, I feel strong. I need to lose the belly fat, That's
Start
the hardest.
running.
That's the hardest part.
I couldn't eat just chicken and fucking rice every day, dude. I mean, I eat a lot of calories.
Do you?
Well, yeah, fuck. I mean, today I'm going to run 12 miles, and that's going to be 4,000 calories I'm going to burn.
Yeah.
And so when I'm done, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, right now, I was doing 1,800 calories for a number of months. Now I'm doing 2,100, and I can definitely tell that I'm not, losing weight like I was before that. Extra 300 calories and a significant, it's almost all protein. I went from 153 grams of protein to 210. So I feel stronger, but I'm also not losing weight like I was. So
Are you taking anything?
Protein.
Just protein?
Yeah.
God, I've been dealing with these crunchy fucking shoulders. I was telling you that in the gym the other day, man, and I don't know if I got to get an x-ray or an MRI or what.
I get cortisone shots every, 3-4 months.
How do you just get cortisone shots? I talk to people all the time, and they're like, oh, I got this thing on my foot, went in and got a shot. I feel like whenever I had something that required something like that, I'd have to go through, just a myriad of tests.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to months into their ortho department, they just do an x-ray, and they're like, oh, you have moderate to severe arthritis. This is about all we can do is give you a shot. So,
I think I need that. Well, that was stem cell. Just fill that fucker up with stem cells.
I know. I've been I keep asking every doctor I see, I'm like, what do you think about stem cells?
Yeah.
They all say it's bullshit, and I don't know if that's true. Is it though? Right? I don't know if that's true or not, so.
I'm ready for peptide injections, stem cells in my aches and pains.
Send me to Colombia.
Testosterone injections. I mean, there's these wellness centers everywhere except for Michigan that can do this stuff. And if you have the right doctor, and I don't mean that in a way if you have a doctor that's going to write prescriptions. Right. I mean if you have the right doctor who's got the foresight to, who's kind of branched out a little bit. They all have the same fucking answer. This is what doctoring kind of drives me crazy because they all do the same thing. Well, it's about right for your age.
Yeah.
No, dude. I don't want to feel 45.
No, fuck
I want to feel 23.
Well, so the medical system in the United States I think it's broken, right? We are missing out on the preventative medicine side of things. They only treat symptoms.
Right.
So I just signed up for this executive health plan at the Cleveland Clinic. It's like an 8-hour physical where they do fucking everything with you. And I'm trying to get more, I want to get ahead of things, you know what I mean? I don't want to wait till something bad happens and then deal with the consequences. I want to prevent things from happening.
Yep. I mean, so, we're working out, we're eating right. So I can do all those things. Right. Work out, eat right, take vitamins.
Right. But
drink my green drink, do all the things, fucking stretch, do yoga, do all the holistic stuff. But, I want to be able to run marathons when I'm in my late 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop because I've got these aches and pains everywhere.
Right. Well, and I think there's a whole nother level to health and wellness that our traditional medical establishment doesn't look at. If you go get labs for your annual physical, they look at a couple things, right?
Yeah.
Your fucking cholesterol and your thyroid and, this and that. You can go get really in-depth labs done at these preventative medicine places, and they can tell you how to actually optimize yourself. Here are the things that you're missing. Here are some warning signs that traditional doctors aren't looking at. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in.
Yeah, me too, 100%. Like I said,
10x health.
Yeah, but you've researched Ways to Well. Yeah, they're down in Texas, and they're in a few other states, and every now and then they'll send me an update hey, we're working on it, trying to get to Michigan and other states.
Ways to Well.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. They do all that stuff, stem cells, peptides, testosterone. But what they do, the big thing of what they do is, like you just said, they dial it all in. They check your hormones. They do a full blood panel. They tell you where you're deficient, where you need to, pick up something here, pick up something there, ethical supplementation, make your life just better.
Yeah.
Healthier, live longer, healthier longer. That's all we really want. We're all going to fucking die.
Yeah.
But at the end,
yes.
I want it to be
Yeah. What, where in Texas is it? I'm going to Texas.
Are you? Well, I'll send you the thing. I think it's Austin.
Austin, yeah. So we're going for Lucy's birthday to Austin and Waco.
Yeah, you don't have to live there, but you have to, go there. You have to have the ability to go there.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah, so because they don't do anything in Michigan or nothing remotely yet. But, because I've been looking at a lot of things like that. Plus, I'm also a little bit, I wouldn't mind if some insurance kicked in a little bit to pay for some of that stuff because it can get really expensive.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't understand why. Would an insurance company rather you be healthy or unhealthy? Because if you're unhealthy, they're paying for it.
Yeah. well, like, you know, before all these like Ozempic and shit got really big, and like blew up. I mean, I was interested in that. Like, I was classified, if you looked at my BMI, I was like morbidly obese or obese for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and there's like, I think that's a kind of a cheat code, right, to take a drug like that. But I've been struggling with my weight for my entire life, and then your doctor's like, yeah, this could help you, but we have to see if the insurance will cover it. And then they come back like, no, we only cover it if you have diabetes. So like, okay, you're gonna let people get to the point that they have diabetes before you agree to start treating people for shit? Like, that's bullshit, you know?
Yeah, it's completely fucked that way. And well, the other thing too is like, you know, you got cholesterol issues, let's put you on a statin.
Right.
You know, let's just do that because that's what we do for everybody.
Right.
You know, take a baby aspirin. I'd like to see you lose 5 pounds in the next year.
Right.
You know, shit like that. When you have an unhealthy physician looking at you.
Right.
You know, that shit drives me crazy. Yeah, because they all say the same things. And I'm just dying to find the one that's like, let's take a look at it, see if it works for you, you know?
Yeah. Well, like, I've had really good luck with my doctor here being open to lots of new stuff and looking at things that I want to look at and doing additional testing. But he also says that, like, I'm the healthiest patient he has. And I'm like, oh, that's not good.
No, that's not good. Well, I mean, you are healthy. You do a lot of the right things. I mean, you don't drink, you don't smoke.
I'm not a fucking, like, you know, 5% body fat marathon runner, though, you know?
Well, neither am I.
Yeah.
I'm a plotter. You know, dude, I fucking, you know, I gallop a little bit when
humping
I run.
down the road?
Yeah, but I do it. Yeah, and when this is over, tell me who your doctor is.
I will.
Gotta hope it's not the same doctor.
There's like a 1 in 7 chance that it is.
Yeah, no shit. Speaking of doctor, and my kid sliced her head.
Oh, no.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah, she was in the water, and there was a slide, and she popped up out of the water, hit the corner of the slide, sliced her head open. And we have a doctor in the family.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'd just bring her over to the house. Stitched her up on the porch, farm style.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, it was awesome. We got a hell of a nice story out of the deal.
That's good. I wish I had a fucking doctor or nurse in my family.
It's always a good call. You know, like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about that? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's off the books, obviously.
Yeah.
You know?
I would be making that call a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're like-minded, too, so it's pretty cool. But not my doctor.
Shout out to James's family member who's a doctor. Hope he doesn't give me your number.
We'll talk. So what else, man? Let's get this going. Fuck, I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
Yeah, dude, it's been a minute. Every time I try to swing by the shop, you're like going out for a bike ride or something. Like, does this fucking guy even work or what?
No.
Jesus.
No, I try to be as active as possible when I can fit it in.
Riding his bikes and running and shit.
Yeah.
Got 2 bikes in his truck, like, just in case.
Just in case. One's for the road, one's for the gravel.
Yeah.
And, single track, so.
Yeah. No, I mean, we expanded the farm a lot. I think we're going to go check that out here, right?
Yep. I want to check that out.
Sweet. So that'll be cool. Yeah, that's exciting for the future of the company. It makes us one of the bigger cultivators in the state, like top 5. So that's pretty cool.
Jesus Christ, man. I mean, it's like, I feel like you just keep growing and growing and growing. It's super impressive.
Grow or die, you know?
Grow or die.
Grow or die.
Yeah. I mean, how many employees are you up to now? You still around that 50 range?
No, I think we're in the, like, 80.
Holy shit.
80s range.
Becoming one of the biggest employers in Manistee, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Possibly, yeah. I don't know what that looks like. I've never seen, like, we've never been on any of the, like, economic development things or anything. There hasn't been any mention of cannabis in those.
Well, there should be.
I might agree with you.
There should be. There should be a lot of talk involved in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that many employees, that's fucking wild, dude. So in terms of, like, Manistee County and the, and or even like say Mason. Well, there's nothing going on in Mason County.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're kind of poo-pooed the whole
Right.
cannabis thing, but just even the surrounding counties, how many cannabis operations are doing this multi-level business like you are, and that are not just dispensaries?
I think we're the only ones locally who are vertically integrated and located in Manistee County.
How do the other dispensaries even survive not cultivating their own shit and having to just buy? Because they're buying it from...
They're buying it from other people, yeah. One of them is vertically integrated, but their vertical integration is not located locally. I think they're like downstate. We're the only ones who are headquartered here, live here, grow here, process here, and have our store here. And our office. You know, we have office staff and marketing people and operations folks. Like, everything's here in Manistee.
Human resources.
Human resources.
That's you, though, isn't it?
It's not me, thank God. Thank God it's not me.
How many stores do you have now?
3.
Jesus. I don't know how you manage it.
Good
people.
Sometimes I don't know either, but we're getting by.
Yeah. Have you talked to Trevor about his dojo he wants to open?
I know he wants to open a dojo, yeah.
But he knows that it's not going to make any money.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's when I find it challenging to put money in, when it's not going to make any money.
Yeah.
I want to support the community. Obviously, Trevor has a real deep history here that makes him want, he's got a nostalgic thing for having a boxing gym here or a BJJ, or, whatever the case may be. So I don't doubt that he does it at some point.
Yeah, I'd love to help him with it. I don't know if I could write a check for it, knowing that there's not going to be much of a return.
Right.
It's going to be more of a charity. You know what it should be? I shouldn't say that. Fuck, I hate when I say that because I can't stand it when people say that to me. You know what you should do?
Right.
It might be something to look into as far as like a nonprofit.
Yeah.
If it was a nonprofit, that might help it.
Right.
Absolutely.
I guess the other thing that I've been doing is looking at, potentially building an apartment building here in town. So I've been working with a couple of folks from the DDA. They're helping me and trying to see if we can make it make sense,
Low income?
No, market rate.
Market rate's good.
Yeah. I think, the issue that I see is that, when we have people here who make, good money and they don't have a place to live, they can't move out of where they're at. If we want to bring somebody in from out of town, they don't have anywhere to move to. Housing it's not just a challenge for us, it's a challenge for everybody, right? People want their kids to come back here, right, after they go to college, and they're not coming back because there's nowhere to live. Yeah,
and daycare's a fucking issue because, I've got
daycare's a massive issue.
Yeah, dude. I got some, young friends that are moving all the way. They're moving to Grand Rapids because that's where family is.
Yeah.
And watch their kid while they work.
I mean, it's an issue for us right now.
And they have to live with their in-laws because there's no place to live. They can't find a place to live right now. And they got good jobs.
That's crazy.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. We're having the same issue right now with daycare. I mean, we had somebody full-time. She left. Now we have somebody part-time who's great, but it's part-time. That means my wife's back to staying home from work a couple days a week. And that's not a long-term solution.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you're saying, it's that in and of itself, daycare alone is going to drive people away from the community. Because what are you going to do with your kids so you can go to work?
Are you looking to build from ground up or buy an existing building and renovate it for
ground up?
No shit.
Yeah.
Where are you trying to be?
Somewhere around here. I may or may not have some property tied up.
Like in the city?
Yeah, in the city.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That's where we would want it, man.
I know. I've been Mark Miller's been very helpful. He's helpful. He is a helpful dude. I like him a lot. So, yeah. Is it Tracy? Is that the woman from the
Stacy
Housing North?
Oh, I don't know.
You can cut that out.
You don't want to fuck that up.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking have her be mad at me. but she's been super helpful too.
How many units are you looking at trying to do? Up to?
I'm looking around like the 25 mark right now. Tracy, yeah. Tracy Davis.
Ah, shout out to Tracy Davis.
Yeah, Tracy Davis from, I think it's Housing North, has been super helpful too. Like, I was looking at the old, like 2019 housing study.
Yeah.
From when I first got here and the units that were needed then. And, it's like units between $400 and $800 a month. Like, you can't afford to build.
You can't afford to build shit for that.
Right? And so now I was surprised at how much rents have gone up.
Yeah, everything's gone up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, market rate on a 1-bedroom
Yeah.
is probably $1,000 a month.
I mean, the numbers that I saw from her were way higher than that.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I was surprised. So, and that's like based on median incomes in the county. So, interesting.
Yeah.
And that's like attainable, like workforce housing too.
Sure.
So,
which is what we definitely need.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Brandon back on the podcast again next week. And, last time he was on, which wasn't that long ago, a couple of months ago, and he talked about how there was only like a couple of houses for sale in Manistee. And it's a $500,000.
Yeah.
That's why everybody's doing, like, I had some guys on from Filer Credit Union the other day, and we talked about, like, home equity lines of credit, because your home has never been as, as high in value as it is right now. So people are just kind of expanding on what they have. But every single operation in town, every business is looking for employees. But if there's no place to live,
they're not going to come here.
Yeah, they're not going to come here. It's wild.
Yep, and the young people are going to move away, and it's going to continue to be an older population, and it's going to struggle to grow economically because of it.
So what you're saying is, if you build it, they will come.
If you build it, they will come. Yeah, I'm doing everything I can to to get something done. So,
is that just something that just came to you? Like, hey, nobody's doing this. I have the means to do this or to try to attempt this, so I'm going to try to help. Obviously, it's going to be an income generator, which is smart. But how does that dovetail into what you're currently doing with your industry?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been interested in real estate. I have like some single family rentals, but through these groups that I'm in, I'm meeting guys who just do apartments and guys who have 1,000 units, 4,000 units, 7,000 units, and although it's like a much bigger undertaking, like to build an apartment building versus building a house or flipping a house, like the risk is much less, right? Because if you have a single door, right, a residential home, you have a mortgage on it, you're dependent on that one person to pay their rent every month.
Yeah.
In order to pay your mortgage. And if they don't pay, you have to pay your mortgage. And if you have a few of those, like that can become risky, right? Like if 3 people stop paying rent all of a sudden and you have to cover, 3 mortgages plus your own mortgage.
10 grand worth of
like that's a challenge.
Payments.
But if you have a 24 or 50 unit building and 5 people don't pay their rent, 5 of the units are vacant, like you still pay the mortgage and cash flow a little bit.
Yeah.
So from a risk standpoint, it's a much better play. So that's where I'm trying to head into the multifamily universe.
Well, I tell you what, my man, you never cease to amaze me with all the shit that you got going on, from building your cannabis business to your master class to now being a slumlord. Just kidding. But I think that's pretty sick, though, dude. I do think that's rad. Somebody that's got a lot of stuff going on, but not at that level. So I think that you impress me. And,
thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
I'm glad to know you, and hopefully that I can continue to glean inspiration from you as I continue down my path.
Yeah, absolutely. You've inspired me as well. I wouldn't be doing any of this social media stuff without, you pushed me to get started. So
get your podcast back up and running, dude.
I'm going to.
All right. I got a delivery outside.
All right.
I love you.
You too, buddy.
Good to see you.
Yeah.